We've got some big news for Team USA fans leading into Thursday's game against Canada. So, yesterday we finished the round-robin play for 4 nations. Canada beat Finland, as we covered earlier in the channel, securing their spot in the final, while the US lost to Sweden in a game which was totally inconsequential. I didn't really do a video breakdown because of that reason. Both teams really had nothing to play for. But the story coming out of Thursday for Team USA was injuries. That's continued today with the potential appearance Thursday of an absolute superstar, Quinn Hughes. Alright, so the US was a different looking team for their game against Sweden. Matthew Tkachuk, Charlie McAvoy, and Austin Matthews all sat the game out, with Kreider and Sanderson stepping in and the US also playing down a man. And I mean, fair enough, meaningless game. The assumption was that these players would be back for the final, and it seems like Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk will. However, Charlie McAvoy has some sort of infection. He had to go to the hospital, and he's week to week, so he will not be playing in the final game. This is where Quinn Hughes comes in. Before the tournament, Hughes was dealing with some injury issues. He made the decision to sit out of the tournament, but the US now gets to call a player up. This is the same thing that happened with Team Canada. Shea Theodore was injured game 1 to miss the rest of the tournament. Cale Makar got the flu, which has been going around, really ravaging Team Sweden in particular. So Thomas Harley was called up to play for Canada. Now, there are very specific rules about how he can play. For example, he was only allowed to step on the ice if Makar was not going to play the game. So it seems like the same thing is happening with Quinn Hughes. However, America has only lost, at this point, one defenseman, Charlie McAvoy. So Quinn Hughes, who was not on the roster at the start of the tournament, is not allowed to play unless there's another injury or illness. I understand the point of this. Like, part of a tournament is having to play all of these games, get banged up, and then fight through and win it all. So in that case, keeping a roster down to a specific number of guys is nice, but on the other hand, with this being a best of best tournament, not being able to see Quinn Hughes play, especially opposite Makar, it feels like a missed opportunity. That being said, I mean, the flu was going around. Anyone on Team USA could, quote unquote, get sick. However, recent reporting has actually thrown even more question marks over this scenario. Friedman has said that Quinn Hughes is actually in Vancouver now. He also has a no contact jersey on and apparently will not be traveling to Boston unless it seems almost certain that he'll be playing, which makes sense because his next game is Saturday in Vegas, so that's a lot of travel to just sit in a press box. Pierre LeBrun recently tweeted and said it's still fluid as to whether he'll be playing in Boston or not. Here's the thing. I think the NHL is going to look pretty heavily at any team which claims they have an injured player so that they can call up a player not on the roster at the start of the tournament. So honestly, as much as I would like to see the USA and Canada both fully healthy, I don't think Quinn will be playing on Thursday. The other brief injury note for the USA is that Brady Tkachuk did leave the game against Sweden after colliding with the net. It seems like he'll be good to go for Thursday. But that's my recap. I'll probably have another video out tomorrow previewing the finals. Let me know your thoughts down below.